You guys, we really gotta figure out what to get him. What are we gonna get him?
How about a high-speed internet connection? Wait, no, they had that, didn't they?
I got an idea. How about matching bathrobes?
How about a self-policing thermostat that neither one of them can adjust?
Frogs?
I know what we could get him. We could get him a new car. He's only had this one 20 years. It's got 150,000 miles on it, but I think he could use a new one.
What do we get them for their 40th?
A cruise. We'll take them on a cruise.
Hey, that's a good idea.
That's a great idea. Let's do it.
Ivan was our best man at the wedding of Mickey and I in 1961. During the course of the evening, they made their acquaintances, and Ivan brought a date named Myra. And about midnight, he took her home and came back for Susan because they were supposed to escort us to our wedding suite at the Warwick Hotel.
He told his date that he had to take her home because he didn't feel good. And then he told my mom to go home, and she lived in Linwood Gardens, so she went home to Linwood Gardens, and he went there to, meet her, pick her up, to take her out. But then the really funny thing is that I really didn't know is that he was so drunk, he was like knocking on all the wrong apartment doors looking for my mother.
We left the hotel about midnight and got downtown and found out that the bridal suite was locked. So Susan and Ivan, Mickey and I spent 3 hours in the hall waiting for them to find the key. The rest is history. 7 months later, Ivan and Susan got married in February of 1962.
They have a mutual respect for one another. And I think there's a lot of teasing that goes on, but you can basically see the love that's there. And especially on New Year's, when we're with them on New Year's Eve, and they dance all night and they hug and kiss all night. And you can see that they're still very much in love.
I'm not telling their secrets. Don't y'all try to get their secrets out.
Susan has finally become Ivan, and Ivan has finally become Susan. It was an evolution. And based on all the years of mutual training, it's just not worth changing the formula right now. It's something that works.
They're able to have an argument without having fun with it when they disagree, and I think that's important, to be able to disagree and make light of it.
Keep doing whatever you're doing. If you change it, if you even stop hollering at him, or he stopped ignoring you, it's not going to work.
I guess they love each other, would you think? They understand each other?
They work together. In other words, it's a give and take, and for anybody to make it 40 years in today's day and age, I think there's got to be a lot of love there.
I tell you, Susan, I don't know how you took him for 40 years. You're a strong woman.
They made time. I see so many parents, that they're not around when the kids are in Little League, or they're unwilling, to participate in stuff, and in the end, that just makes a huge difference, and they manage to make time.
I judge parents a little differently now that I am one. I'm maybe not such a tough critic anymore.
I look back again at the job that they did, and I think it was incredible. We couldn't put into words how much we appreciate what they've done for us. If we can do 1/10 of the job that they did, I would be happy, because they were always involved. Mom was always the one to be involved, coming to our class, doing this. Dad, either coaching or being involved in Little League, or everything. They were just constantly involved in what we did.
They're certainly great other parents, and I love both of them, and really enjoyed being part of this family.
I'd like to thank them for making me feel so welcome in their family and making me feel like one of their own. We've had some good times, and I'm sure we'll have many more over the years.
The second I walked in the door, they treated me like family, and it was just so amazing, and I felt like part of the family ever since.
Susan, by the way, has 4 truly great pleasures. Marley Beth, Marley Beth, Marley Beth, and Marley Beth.
Originally they had told us that we could have 2 people, in addition to myself and Vince, in the delivery room. And I thought, oh, well, it'll be my parents. And then when we got there, they tried to tell us no, that only 1 person could be in the delivery room. So they basically, the nurse tried to like tell my dad to leave, and he was absolutely having none of it. So even though she flat out asked him to leave, he pretty much flat out said no. We're in labor, we're like pushing, you know, getting my epidural, I'm in pain, I mean the whole 9 yards, and he's just off in the corner reading his paper through the whole thing until the very end when the baby actually started to crown. Then he, you know, came over and actually watched her being born, but it was so funny because here I am, this very like crazy new experience, you know what I mean? It was all, and it was kind of calming for me to look over and see that familiar sight over there in the corner, my father just nice and calm, reading the paper.
Just another day. Wouldn't want to miss a story.
A granddaughter, Marley, whom you both idolize, is darling and sweet and the love of your lives.
Susan, do you have a picture that you'd like to show in the middle of New Year's Eve while everybody's yelling Happy New Year? Bring out a picture.
The babysitter seems to be Ivan. He wants to always babysit for the baby.
They always say that as much as they enjoy Marley, they always enjoy watching us with Marley. But the truth is that I think we enjoy watching them with Marley probably just as much as they enjoy it. And you know, they are the world's best babysitters.
Certainly.
Aren't they the world's best babysitters?
Susan is incredibly detail-oriented, to the point where both she and Mrs. Labiak became the recipient of necklaces that said, pitch. Susan, I believe, still has hers, and she wore it around the Little League field with pride.
I was going to warn Susan that he's carrying his own Meals on Wheels for seniors on the cruise.
Ivan lets Susan win every argument, except Ivan likes to go on angles, I think, when he...
No, diagonal. A shortcut.
Shortcuts.
If he can find that diagonal, that gives him almost as much pleasure, almost as much pleasure as avoiding a toll bridge.
I inherited Ivan and Susan from Chuck. That's all I know.
We spent most of our time together at restaurants. Doing what? You know, talking about the restaurants we'd been to the weeks before and what food we ate then, and thinking about what restaurants we're going to go to in the near future, what food we're going to eat then. So it's a very meaningful, deep relationship.
When we go out to dinner, a lot, he sits next to me. My cholesterol before I met Ivan used to be about 280. Since I met Ivan, my cholesterol's going down to 200 because he watches everything that I eat on the plate. Primarily, I gave up butter, I gave up chocolate, I gave up sweets, I gave up meat. I hate vegetable, that's what he keeps putting on my plate. Vegetable and fish, I can't stand it. So I lost about 35 pounds and my cholesterol's dropped 65 points.
We can all order for each other very easily because we all know exactly what the other one eats.
We order all the good stuff, and they order everything without butter. And without cream and without...
Right, they order the bland food, we order the real food.
If I didn't have your father to drag him out running 3 times a week, believe me, he would not have the cholesterol and blood pressure he does because of your father.
Can you say
Yes.
Orson Welles?
In the beginning, when he was around a lot, you know, Susan wasn't used to it. So he was always underfoot, and he was rearranging the kitchen. And he was rearranging like different things.
We never know what he's going to fix next. If we'll be in a blackout or flood out.
Susan said, you know, I'd like to go on a canoe trip. And of course, we were all somewhat incredulous. But we said, okay, so you want to go on a canoe trip? We'll go on a canoe trip. So we wound up taking the canoes putting them on the back of my pickup truck, and we all drove up to Hancock, New York. Put the canoes in the water and started down the river. Susan was constantly vigilant for, Ivan, there's another rock. And this went on. It was a wonderful trip.
Susan said, do we have to put our bathing suits on?
And we said, no, there's nobody else here. You can, if you want to wear your bathing suit, put it on. If you don't want to put it on, it's up to you. So there was this sort of mud bank that went down to the river. And I can always picture Susan prancing, sort of like a stripper, down the bank. And just about the time she was halfway down the bank, this whole group of tubers came by, much to our surprise. So we got into the water more quickly than we would have.
Each of them is the epitome of a good friend and follows our definition. A friend is someone for whom you will go all the way at any time without question.
Happy anniversary, Ivan and Susan!
From Lady Brooke and the Fishes.
Happy 40th anniversary.
Have a wonderful, wonderful trip.
Have a great anniversary.
Happy 40th anniversary.
Happy 40th anniversary.
Happy 40th, Ivan and Susan.
Happy anniversary.
Happy 40th anniversary.
Anniversary, Aunt Susan and Uncle Ivan.
Happy anniversary.
Happy 40th anniversary.
A happy 40th and many more.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Susan and Ivan.
Happy anniversary and many, many more.
Me too.
Happy 40th.
I want to wish you lots of mazel.
Happy 40th anniversary.
Just say frogs twice.
Frogs? Frogs? No, that wasn't a good one.
Okay.
fine.
Okay, then fine. I don't have to adjust that.
Just the word frogs, or
Do just the word frogs. You do this.
frogs? Frogs?
Just like that.
Oh, cut it out, Eric.
I really want the outtake.
You didn't do it all when he told you to do it.
He was good.
Yes, he
You
did.
started
I
laughing.
did exactly what he told me to do.
You did a good job on that one.
You lost it.
You were cracking up.
He cracked up before
He was
I started.
fine. You started laughing.
He was fine. You were